Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new video, one that I've never done before, which goes to show how many historical fiction books that I've read that lately have just not been A, really good, and B, feature black main characters. So without any further ado, the first book on this list is called Clouds Over California. This story is a middle-grade historical fiction set in the 1970s, following a young black main character who's navigating changing friendships and family tension, which is something that people can relate to in any time period. And my favorite thing about historical fiction, which I've said recently, is that it does such a great job of humanizing ordinary people from the past. Does that make any sense? This book is so good, and it felt so realistic and so well done. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I loved all of the different family dynamics and the friendships. The plot is so engaging and so excellent. The world building is so good and so atmospheric, and I just really enjoyed it so much. I don't think I've read many historical fiction books set in the 70s, much less featuring black characters, so this book was quite refreshing, and I just really enjoyed it. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Blackwoods. This story is a YA historical fiction that's generational and follows 4 different generations of a black fictional Hollywood family, which I think was so fascinating and so well done. I love generational stories so much because it really goes to show the ways in which you were parented affects the ways in which you parent the next generation. Does that make any sense? And I loved all the Hollywood elements to it, especially featuring and centering a black family, because obviously black actors have been treated differently than their white counterparts over time. This book is absolutely so fantastic and it's so good. I loved all of the family timelines, all of the characters, especially how all the different timelines intersected and affected the timelines before them and after them. Does that make any sense? The characters are so well developed and so distinct. I love the family dynamics. The plot is so engaging. The world building is excellent, and it's so well done, and it's so well researched and well detailed. This book is absolutely so good. I would definitely highly recommend it because it's so underrated and it deserves so much more hype. The next book on this list is called When the Mapou Sings. This story is a YA historical fiction written in verse, following a young Haitian main character set in the 1930s as she is navigating romance and politics while she looks for her missing best friend. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. First of all, the majority of historical fiction I read is mostly either set in Europe or America, so reading a book set in another country that's neither of those two continents was so refreshing and so well done, and it also meant that I had no idea what to expect from the plot or the world building or anything like that, because this history is not a history that I was taught in school, essentially. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. The world building is excellent and it's so atmospheric. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The romance is so adorable and it's so well paced. The writing is excellent and it's so well written. The free-verse format worked so well for the story because I just really enjoyed it so much from the beginning to the end. Again, this book is unbelievably so underrated, and with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called The Color of a Lie. This story is a YA historical fiction following a young black main character as he and his family try to pass for white in 1955. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done, and it's quite refreshing as well, which I guess is the word of the day today for some reason. But anyway, I don't think I've ever read a book like this before. I've read about black families passing for white before in history classes and stuff like that, but I don't think I've ever read a historical fiction story that centers on that specifically. Does that make any sense? But anyway, the characters are so well developed and so distinct. The world building is excellent and illuminating. The plot is engaging, and I really enjoyed it so much because it's so educational as well as being emotional as well. Like, I was so invested and connected to everything that was happening. This book is so good and it's so underrated. I remember having really low expectations prior to reading this book because I think the last book I read by this author, I might have rated 3 stars or something like that. But this book, I definitely rated higher than that. So that's awesome. So anyway, overall, I would definitely highly recommend this book. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Radiant. I read this book at the very beginning of January, and I think it's so good. It is a middle-grade historical fiction following a young black main character at a new school as she is navigating internalized racism in 1963, and it's also written in free verse, which I absolutely love so much. This book is so good. First of all, I loved the world building so much. It felt so atmospheric and so well done. Even though many of these historical events are events that I'm quite familiar with, this book felt new in the sense that, like, I love the characters so much. I loved the family dynamics and the friendships and everything. This book is so excellent. The writing is so addictive. The plot is so engaging. Like, everything about it was so atmospheric and so awesome and so well done. So anyway, with that said, I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, first of all, happy Black History Month. Second of all, one of my 2025 reading goals is to read more historical fiction. And with that, I want to read more diverse historical fiction, since the majority of historical fiction that I read when I was younger featured white, straight, able-bodied, neurotypical characters. So naturally, I want to read more about, like, marginalized characters. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. I hope this video helped diversify your bookshelf. Comment down below the dragon emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!